Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm at the Johns Island County Park in Charleston, South Carolina. This is primarily a equestrian trail, but even though horses aren't my favorite, this is what I'm going to do today, so let's go see what we can see. So this is actually a really huge park. Like I said, it's primarily for equestrians, and they really want pedestrians to stay just on that yellow trail. So you could stay on the yellow trail or the trails within the yellow loop. So let's hope for minimal horses. I only saw one potential horse trailer in the parking lot, so maybe we won't see any horses today. Maybe just a nice trail. This trail is 2.6 miles. It's a loop trail, but it does have a little approach trail, which is probably about a third of a mile before you get to the actual loop. So it's probably close to 2 3/4 miles. And then when you add the approach trail twice, you're probably looking at 3 miles all the way around. So here we go. Let's see what we can see. So this park also has an archery place. It has a range, it has 3D targets, and it's got this archery course. So one other thing to kind of be mindful of while you're out here. So how about a little story time? Seeing all this flat ground and all these palmetto palms. The ones that are babies and they grow so close to the ground, they almost look like bushes. It reminds me so much of when I was a kid. I lived about maybe a mile away from a Kmart and in South Florida. Back in the 80s, early 80s. And back then it was all this kind of woods, almost from my house all the way to Kmart. And I remember I used to walk through the woods to get to Kmart. And I think my family thought the draw for me was that I got to go to Kmart by myself. But really, always, the draw was being able to walk through the woods. I didn't really care about Kmart. I just loved being in the woods, even back then. And this is very reminiscent of that. Flat, sandy soil. Of course, we are on an island here. Quiet. And the palmetto palms and the pine trees. That's what it was like living in South Florida in the early 80s. There are no woods there now. It's all houses. I don't think there's a single tree, or at least not a single original tree. Memories. So I brought this little baggie with me to collect any trash that I find along the trail. But I haven't seen a single piece of trash. So that's been really nice. I do see that they have some trash cans up here at the sort of the intersection that's coming up. I'm about halfway through the trail at this point, so it's really nice. And this has been a exceptionally well marked trail without it being in your face. It's a nice change from the nearly unmarked, nearly unnavigable trails. Is unnavigable a word? whatever that is. Trails you can't navigate in South Dakota. So, yeah, nice change. Thank you, South Carolina and Charleston County. It's been great so far. We'll see what the rest of the trail has in just a minute. So when I read the rules of the trailhead, it did say that pedestrians could go on any trail within the yellow trail loop, which would be this. However, the trail I'm going to do today is just the yellow loop, which is sort of a perimeter trail. Maybe another time will come out, but for today, it'll just be the yellow trail. So that big sign at the beginning of the trailhead said like caution, muddy trail, or whatever it said. And I was like, oh great, my favorite, mud. But that little mud that was right there, that's the most mud I've seen on this trail. So either it's an old sign or that's their idea of mud, not really sure. Or maybe it's the non-pedestrian trails, the ones that are only for horses, that are muddy. But it sure has been nice to not have to walk through mud. And I hope I didn't just jinx myself by saying that, because I do have a little bit of trail left to go. I'll let you know if I get any more mud. Well, actually here there is a little bit more mud here. And this is quite a bit muddier than that last spot, but there's plenty of like dry spot as well. But I guess if you were on a horse, you would want to know about something like this. I guess. I don't know. Tess, if you're watching, you tell me. Is that little bit of amount of mud, will that make a difference if you're riding a horse? So it is on the private property side, and there's a dude out here raking leaves, so I think it's just they're burning leaves. It sure does smell good though.